what we're here for tonight, is to come together, show some support, celebrate our friend, cry in our beers, and just have a good time.
I've been a friend of Ria's for over 24 years.
I've known Ria for over 20 years.
We were friends for 26 years.
8 years.
I've known Ria since I was 17.
I was 19. I'm 40 now, so it's 21 years.
Probably mid-95.
In 2001.
I think we probably met her at like some dyke music festival back in the early 90s, and of course we all loved her right away, and of course she had many babes around all the time.
I ended up calling Ria Rue, like Kanga and Rue, because of the way she bounced around so much.
The first time I met Ria, I didn't even live in Atlanta. I was still in high school and I came up to Atlanta for spring break. We walked into this huge punk rock party. Even though there were a ton of people there, she still made a point of coming over and introducing herself and welcoming us to the party, and made an impression on me that first time I ever met her. My friend kept telling me, Ria's been asking about you. Ria wants to know where you are. And I was, like most 16-year-old girls, frightened but intrigued.
The first time I met Ria, I was working at Abba Dabba. She came in to buy a pair of boots. I knew who Ria was, but I had never really met her before. And she came in, I was like drawn to her, but she's very intimidating, you know, she's a big presence, and she was buying a pair of Doc Martens, you know, and so I was like lacing up her boots and like been really nervous, and she started hitting on me, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, feeling really anxious about the whole thing.
When we walked into the Point, little 5 Points, first time I met Ria, she came charging out. Her energy came out in front of her, you know, but she wasn't really charging. She was relaxed and ambling out, pushing her energy in front of us, like pouring it on us with just like this, I'm the dad, this is my place, you're my band, I love you guys, come to Papa, I'm gonna handle this, welcome to Atlanta.
I had a taste of her biscuits at Bluebird, and I immediately barged through her kitchen doors unannounced, and was so in awe of her food and cuisine that I wanted to tell her how much I appreciated this experience. She looked at me and said, "Who the heck are you?" barging through her kitchen doors. But that was the Ria look, that was the Ria style.
I towed her girlfriend's truck to her house on Fulton Terrace, and she cooked me breakfast for payment. I met Christian, who's now my wife, who lived up the road from her, and Ria and her were just spend a lot of time together, so Ria would come over in the middle of the day and we would just go and walk around Cabbagetown, and that's kind of how I know Ria. She cooked me breakfast the first time I met her, which is kind of weird because now she's famous for that.
I met her at a bar in Little 5 Points called The Point. She worked the front door and she also cooked in the kitchen. And she had this really gritty, you know, butch, crazy attitude, and you thought, oh my God, who's this crazy woman? And she turned out to be the like most soft-spoken, warm, tender-hearted person I ever met. So gracious, so giving, so smart.
Turned 17, I'm like living on people's couches, not doing shit with my life. All I wanted to do was skate. That's all I cared about, was riding my skateboard. I'm in the square at Little 5 Points. So Ria gets off work at the Point, she walks out, she like kind of walks past, she's like,
That's what she's like.
"Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm trying to nail this tail slide." She's like, "No, what are you really doing?" "Seriously, I'm trying to nail this tail slide." She's like, "So you like girls?" "Yeah." She's like, "You want to get laid?" "Yeah." "You know what girls like?" "What?" "People with jobs."
We met at the Metroplex Punk Rock Club. It's kind of funny, we met fighting each other, And then after that, we realized we were better friends than enemies. Knowing Ria and how she is and how she was sticking up for her friends, I was being a stupid punk rocker. And that's how we bonded, was over live music and drinks and our friends.
There's these 3 drunk guys up front, sure enough, pushing little girls out of the way, and Ria just like barged in up front in her like kind of easygoing barging way and just slammed these guys out of the way with one arm, threw a table over, knocked the other guys out of the other way, and boy, there wasn't any more guys in the mosh pit for the rest of the night. Of course, you know, back in the day, we were a bunch of punk rock dykes who were half naked and playing the chainsaw and getting blowjobs from straight guys, so we thought that was great.
I knew that we cared about each other. She always had my back, always, ever since I was a kid.
Ria commanded the space. She took care of business, she took care of her people. She loved big, she's very passionate. She did a lot of things incredibly well. She loved Kiki. She loved her people. She loved Karen. She was very, very proud of the people that she knew and were around her.
A champion, a supporter, a family member, brother, sister to all of us. It was somebody that we looked up to, inspired us to really be our authentic selves. Ria always was someone who told you how it was. She was honest. You knew where you stood with her. She was somebody that would not sugarcoat the truth, and we all respected her for that.
She's a part of my heart and a part of my history and helped me be who I am. She made everybody feel like they were the most important person in the room, and that everybody felt like she loved them the most. She had that gift of making everybody feel loved.
Thanks to people like Ria Pell, we don't have to be a bunch of angry, gnarly death bitches anymore, you know, because we got respect.
For me, Ria has always been a constant. Like, I always knew where I could find her. She was just always around, you know? She's a staple in our community.
What was beautiful about tonight was Ria showed me how to be a community leader, how to take all different kinds of cultures that people think they don't have anything in common. You know, there's punks and there's rockabilly and there's dykes and there's straight people and there's strippers and whatever, and everybody just like all of a sudden you get together and you go, oh, we're all on the outside of society. What do we have in common? We're all a bunch of renegades. And she did that for this community, and this community watched her and learned how to step up for each other, how to love each other, how to not judge each other.
You know, she was so much the glue, and you know, when folks passed, she really took seriously her role of making sure that they were honored correctly, you know, paying for folks' funerals, you know, really bringing people together for benefits or whatever was needed, and helping people mourn properly and helping people celebrate people's lives properly. Ria was supposed to be immortal.
To be at the funeral and to see 1,000 people walking behind her casket, I mean, I've never been in presence of something so powerful for a person, and that's a beautiful thing. She was a beautiful thing, Ria.
Whether it was queer or punk rock or the restaurant community, she cared about that community and supported it in so many ways.
One thing that I appreciate and love and want to hold for Ria in this moment, how much she held space, was generous to the nth degree in terms of what she gave, not just to individuals, to her friends, to her family, but to the community, and how she created public space as just a really part of her mission and calling and work. So whether that was through food or through activist spaces, through donations, through music, through holding queer space and being a kind of person that people aspired to be next to be with, to be connected to be around. She was outrageous, and we need more of that.
Somebody the other day was calling her the mayor. She's like the mayor of misfit toys, and I love that. It was so appropriate because that's really what Ria Pell was. She just had this amazing way of pulling punks and freaks and queers and entrepreneurs and fancy business people and chefs. I mean, people from all walks of life.
She made shit happen. She brought people together. She was generous. She made you feel like her family. If you were her friend, you were her family. It's a clear illustration of the impact that she had on so many people.
It doesn't feel right that she's gone, but at the same time, I feel like she's in everybody now. She brought so many people together and still is. It's really amazing.
And I need it here to remind me all the time how to show up with love and joy and fly free while you're doing it, and just pack as much action as you can into your life, because you don't know when it's going to be done. So, love you, Ria, motherfucker.